Hello everyone, it's Sam here and with Fee. Obviously we are the ladies behind A Stand in the Park UK. Just jumped on for another midweek musings. How you doing, Fee?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm all good. I think maybe if we just sort of jump straight into kind of what we wanted to talk about today. Obviously we've just been having a little chat. And it is, the biggest thing at the moment is that we're not experiencing that huge amount of pressure from the government with restrictions and, all of that. A lot of it is happening behind the scenes, under the surface. But we're all, I think, hopefully, very aware that, there's a lot of things coming in the future that we kind of need to prepare for, not in a negative way, not in a let's all be scared and worry about it, but certainly in the way of trying to create these alternative systems, things that are going to benefit us all, help us survive and thrive, and really kind of work together to kind of create a better world and a better future for our children, really. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so
yeah, well, we were just saying, weren't we, about the fact that whatever happens, we have got to create a new world for ourselves. Those of us who do not want to be a part of the great
system
reset and
yes,
whatever it is that they're desperately trying to implement and get in place and force everybody to be a part of. For those of us who absolutely refuse to live that way, it's we can't look to that a completely corrupt, rotten system to somehow clean itself up, because the people who created the systems, the people who are in charge of those systems, are not going to clean themselves up. They are evil.
It's absolutely rotten to the core.
Completely, they are rotten to the core. So hoping that they are somehow going to get in touch with their compassionate, loving side, they don't have one. Just that it's got to go. And so whatever happens, there will be a new system, whatever you want to call it, in place. It's just, is it going to be something that's like by default that we haven't actually created ourselves and put our energy into? Is it just things that arise out of necessity, and it's a real struggle and hardship, or is it something that we're already working on because we know exactly what's happening, what's coming, so we're prepared? The choice is ours, really, but in the end, the old system, power structure, whatever you want to call it, is, if you don't want to be a part of that, then you've got to be part of something else. So
I think also, there are some people who, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but there seems to be this idea that, there will be people that are going to come and save us. I hear people talking about, white hats, all the, all this other stuff that's going on. And, I'm not saying that's not happening. I'm not saying, to not have hope and faith that that's happening. But I think for me personally, I'm really of the feeling that actually the only people that can save us is us. In real terms of really making a proper positive difference, that actually is on us. Each and every single one of us have a role to play. It doesn't matter what our skills are, how much time we've got, whether you kind of sit there and think, but I can't do anything. There is always something that you can do. And we've been talking about the last couple of months now, haven't we, of really kind of strengthening our connections, and also we've been reaching out to some other kind of community groups who are getting these fantastic initiatives off the ground. Already we're seeing so many things, arising. We've spoken before with Tommy from the community, who is just, it's kind of across the board, kind of everything, you can think of for a community, he's kind of got going on. And then you've got the People's Health Alliance that are doing the community health hubs. And there are obviously so many kind of out there. There is an opportunity for all of us to kind of, they're existing, they're there, the groundwork is laid, and then it needs us to kind of jump on board, get involved, do what we can to help build it, help grow it, help really kind of get it established in this, lull where we're not under so much kind of in your face pressure. Obviously the last couple of years has been so intense with those restrictions that, there is that, it's a lot more relaxed now. And I think, we're definitely at a place where we are so much better off putting all this stuff into place now, because it's much harder, if restrictions or whatever, if we see this, collapse of the systems, any systems, when that comes, it's much harder to kind of get stuff off the ground when you're under that level of pressure. So yeah, for me, certainly it's now is the time to be really getting involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is, if you're trying to get things going during those times when it is full pelt, it's coming from that place of panic as well. So you've Absolutely. Got, as always, there's this balance. So, okay, you might not be under restrictions, might be more freedom of movement, all of these things. But that doesn't mean, oh, just sit back and, because at the same time, it's the boiling frog thing, isn't it? The temperature's actually going up all the time. And you're just sort of relaxing a bit without realizing. I mean, a lot of people are definitely feeling the financial squeeze more. That's kind of where we're heading now. And, the threat of shortages and so on and so forth, the energy price hikes and all of those things. So there is, I mean, in a way, it's worse. Like that kind of pressure is worse than just a rule where you're not supposed to do this, that or the other, but you've got the same amount of money's coming in and you haven't got that kind of stress and pressure on you. And I think, like, talking about the savior kind of fantasy, it's very dangerous because, the thing is, even if there were these amazing good guys who swept in and where's your power in that? You're still at the mercy of people or whoever who are susceptible to corruption and like anybody else. And this is we've seen it happen. The number of good guys that go into politics, for example, wanting to change that, and we see what happens to them because they realize they can't actually get anywhere without essentially corrupting themselves. And it is our responsibility. This is why it's so important that everyone does get involved. And it doesn't mean that you have to be an expert in whatever whatever it is. There's so much, isn't there, in a community that nobody has to. It's just you have to be involved. You have to have that sense of responsibility for yourself and for the community that you want to be a part of. And that's what we've seen, this with the dependence on a system, the same few people controlling every aspect of our lives in society. It just completely saps any kind of personal responsibility, sense of community. And we've seen there's so much apathy still. And I think it's because we're not living in that really energized way where you do feel like you're a part of everything. It's just you're plodding along, you're doing what you need to do to get by, and it's so low energy. So to actually pull yourself out, it's quite it's quite a big ask in some ways. You do have to really get yourself. But then if you do get in contact with these different groups, the organisation, go to stands, you know, whatever it is, the energy starts building and you feel more empowered. That's the whole point of what we've been doing since we started the stands. Get people together, get them empowered, get them realising, yeah,
connected.
Exactly. So
Because that is the absolute foundation of everything, is that connection, that networking, that support, that, you know, empowering. You know, in a group situation, that the level of confidence that you can kind of feed off each other, that positive energy is whatever you go on to do, you know, that's kind of the foundation you need in order to do it. And you know, I'm sure that was your aim when you first started it up, and it was what sort of drew me to the movement, you know, before, because it's that foundation. So yeah, we can have a little shout out to, like, you know, maintain your stands, maintain that community, whatever you choose to do within your stand, that is your basis for, you know, moving forward. Do it together, because together we are stronger, aren't we?
yeah, that's what it was always about, was just get the people together, because that's when things change. That's when we've been so, I mean, way before all of this, we've been isolated from each other for a very long time. You know, and obviously then when the scamdemic hit, then it was really in your face, the actual physical isolation. But it's been the isolation from each other within society.
The complete breakdown, yeah.
Absolutely.
Communities, the relocation, I think, I can't remember how many decades ago it was, but, you know, the relocation of people, you know, to other parts of the country. I think, you know, when they started shipping people out of London to the smaller towns and building those up, it's separated families further. And whereas, you know, a few decades ago, you'd have several generations of the same family living in the same town, supporting each other, that you can see, looking back, you know, the manipulation and the kind of drive to kind of really separate this out and get people moving away from each other, because, you know, obviously the more separated you are, the weaker you are.
Yeah, exactly. And that encouragement to be suspicious of everyone, you know, everyone's out to get you. The
world is not safe.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's funny. Where was I? Yes. Oh, I got some petrol. Managed to, like, get all my coppers together and get enough to put a few quid in, and which, like, got me down the road. But the got a really nice guy behind the counter. But as I was leaving, I was like, bye, and he's like, oh, stay safe. And I just
that phrase has just been, it used to be something, you know, particularly mothers or fathers or, you know, loved ones would say to each other in a really caring way of just, you know, wanting you to be safe. And it's been so corrupted, and now I think for all of us it just makes you cringe. And
I felt myself kind of it's like, safe from what? I'm fine, I don't, you know, it just, but it has become, it's so entrenched, this idea that you have to stay safe, that you're not, I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but, you know, it's the premise, isn't it, of fear, that you are not safe ever, anywhere, you know, regardless of whether there's a phony pandemic or, you know, whatever it is. We've been peddled that lie for, well, I mean, generations and generations, and now we're kind of at the pinnacle of it, the absolute terror of everything and everyone. But that's
the absolute antidote for that is to come from a place of love and trust. And yes, of course, you know, not naive trust, but we can all see what's going on for a reason, because we're able to, you know, use our own discernment, trust our intuition, and kind of really feel out what's right for us. But there has to be coming from that place of trust and love and connection, and yeah, definitely.
We are hardwired to be social beings. We need each other. we do need each other. We need that connection always. And you see it within nature. I mean, that's, if ever anybody's, you know, questioning what truth is, or what's real, just go into nature and it's all there. It's all there, unadulterated, and everything behind the scenes, there is that complete connection between everything. It's collaborative.
Yeah.
And that's our nature. And yeah, anytime that we're coming together with that common purpose, and I think people really have to kind of get over having differences of opinion, and you know, and how they think things should be done, and just focus on the fact that we all want freedom. We all want to live free and happy, and to be able to just, you know, experience all the wonderful things that are available to us here. Just focus on that. You don't need to get so caught up in the little details. I think we're still going through that at the moment. That, you
I
know,
think it's a hard habit to break, though, isn't it? It's
we'll get there, hopefully. We have to.
yeah, as you yeah, as you're saying, the collaboration is key. And yeah, it's certainly, as I was saying earlier, one of the things that we're trying to do is to kind of reach out to these community projects. So yeah, I think one of the things we did want to say was, if you have got a project ongoing that's kind of community focused, community based, if you're building new systems, we would really love to hear from you. Obviously, you know, there are so many out there. We know there's so many out there, and we can't possibly kind of know about all of them, contact all of them. So if anyone would like to reach out, we'd love to kind of get a kind of directory almost going on, to kind of really showcase just the phenomenal things that are going on, and it would, you know, obviously that would be distributed to all of our standards. We've got this, you know, immense network of people that all share the same ideals. You know, basically, you know, there are differences, of course, we're all different, but we all do share the same common goal. And it would be absolutely fantastic to be able to display, you know, all of these options, whether it's something you're doing nationally, whether it's just small at the minute, but you know, you kind of have the idea of wanting to grow it nationally. Please do let us know. We can have a chat. What we are looking at doing is doing a kind of freedom roundtable, kind of Zoom, recorded Zoom, to kind of share, where everyone can kind of explain what they're doing, and just, you know, really you show the level of excitement and hope and optimism, you know, that we've all, I mean, I've said it quite a few times, got this excitement about what we can all do when we collaborate and work together. So yeah, please do get in touch. You can email me at admin@standinthepark.org. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Yeah, whatever area it's in. Obviously, there's, you know, food growing, preparation skills, health, jobs, I couldn't sit here and list them all, but everything that goes into making a community. If you're doing anything that you think, you know, we'd love to kind of get it out there, collaborate with other groups, or even just have it listed on a kind of directory to help people find you, to raise that awareness, to kind of grow that base, you know, please do get in touch.
So it doesn't just have to be, you know, really organised groups with official names and things like that. Just share with us what you're doing anyway. It might be a group of 3 or 4 of you that have got something going, and it's so inspiring for other people to hear. It's inspiring for us, you know, and it's reassuring as well, because the more you realise, wow, you know, there is not one county that doesn't have multiple things going on, whether it's really small, you know, a few people doing whatever it is, community garden, you know, anything within their little communities and groups, or you've got the much bigger things that are going national, and it really doesn't matter. It's just having that information, and also getting ideas for yourselves. You know, there are so many blueprints now that we can all take and adapt to suit our situations. but it's very much about getting that energy up, and like you say, it's all hope. It's hope, and this is why they have worked flat out to divide us, to keep us separate, to keep us in fear, because they know exactly what happens when we get together and we're unified. They are screwed. They have nothing in the face of us coming together with a common goal, common purpose. They are in real trouble, and that's why. So whenever, it's easy to get fearful and look around and think, oh my God, but you must always bring it back to, why are they doing this? Why are they having to squeeze so hard? Why are they pushing and pushing? Because they know the power that we hold. They do not want us to know the power that we hold. And that's all this is about. That's all it is. So if you can just keep that in mind and keep moving forward and get as involved as you can, and you feel that empowerment that you're doing something. Every time just one more of us gets involved, it's a spit in the eye for them.
Absolutely. And obviously, many of us are really busy. We haven't got all the hours, God sends, we're all busy, we're all under pressure, we've all got a lot to do. But I see time and time again from organizations that even if it's just an hour, that you can give doing anything, it might be a bit of paperwork, it might just be typing things up, it might be some physical work, lifting or carrying or helping to paint something. If people have got premises and they need to redo it, all of us can stick a paintbrush up and down, and if you can do that, commit to even half an hour, I think, and it does a lot for us on a personal level as well, knowing that you are contributing to that, and I think it will build us all up, on a personal level, and give us more kind of desire and excitement, and just fuel us to do more and give more, and we can build on that. And I think, if every single one of us just dedicated an hour of our week to any one of these projects, I think that the possibilities are absolutely limitless.
Yeah, they are, and you'll be meeting even more people. Again, you're making those connections, and that opens up a whole other area of, you don't know what's going to lead on to, but it's just making those connections in the first place. So yeah, definitely, get on board. We'll get out there as much as we can, what is going on, and it'd just be really great to hear from people in the groups, like the Telegram chat and the Facebook group and whatever, or just let us know directly how it's going, what you've started getting involved in, what you're doing, what it's brought to you. And that's how it spreads, doesn't it, and gets bigger.
Energy is infectious, isn't it, on both sides? We see when you're around a negative person, it brings you down, but equally when you're around positive people, you feel yourself with these inspiring stories of what people are doing and getting involved in. It does lift you, and it is infectious.
So you know what to do, people.
Indeed.
Get in touch, and we'll obviously keep you posted. So I think that's probably it, isn't it? I think
we've chatted quite a bit, haven't we?
As usual.
Yeah, we
do like our little catch-ups, don't we? Okie doke. Right, so we will hopefully see you next week, everyone, and have a great week, and we'll speak to you soon.
Lots of love to standers and freedom fighters everywhere. Good on you. Big respect and love. Bye.